All right, everybody, welcome. I'm Kristen Pruskey. I am proud to lead Sibley's Foundation. This session is being recorded for those who aren't able to join us today. We're so thrilled that you're able to come and learn more about the foundation and how to make some tax incentivized gifts. We're very fortunate on an everyday basis to have our colleague Ann Doyle as a counselor and help to understand the vast intricacies of plan giving, and as the Senior Director of Gift Planning within the Office of Gift Planning for Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Medicine, and has been a wonderful friend and supporter of Sibley. Ann and her team partner with us to work with generous donors to understand their giving options and how to maximize their philanthropic goals. During the chat, feel free to add any questions in the Q&A feature. And we will keep going. All right, Ann, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks.
Okay, well, wonderful. And please feel free to ask any questions that you might have during this presentation, just so that I know what you're interested in, what you want to do with, or what you're interested in finding out more about. So for life income gifts are gifts that might give back to you while benefiting Sibley. They're the two most popular ones that I'll speak about today, and that is the Charitable Gift Annuity and Charitable Remainder Trust, and how we manage those and what they would look like for you. So the life income gifts are irrevocable gifts. You do make the contribution of your asset to the organization and it stays with the organization. You receive a partial charitable deduction for it, and the partial charitable deduction is because the next one, it provides income to you and other beneficiaries. So the income that comes back to you is the part that is not given a tax deduction, but there is partial charitable deduction with the gifts. And then at maturity of the gift, Hopkins uses the remaining funds. And we use it in the way that you can designate it to a particular purpose within Sibley, but that's when the funds come to Hopkins. Or Sibley, excuse me. Charitable gift annuities, just going into those. So that's a contract between you and Sibley. We have Hopkins in a lot of this because we do use them, but for Sibley. And it is for the lifetime. A charitable gift annuity is for the lifetime of one or two beneficiaries. You and another loved one. It's usually the donor and a spouse, or both spouses are the donors. It can provide immediate income back annually, or you could defer it for a few years and then start receiving it depending on your situation. If you defer it, the annual rate of return becomes a little bit higher because the money's had longer to grow. There are fixed payments, so you don't have to worry about whether it's going to go up and down depending on the stock market. And that fixed payment is for the lifetime of the gift, and it's also backed by the Johns Hopkins University and Medicine. It's actually invested with CASPIC, a TIAA-CREF subsidiary. And even if we were to go belly up, you would still get those payments. They're insured and will go on for life. You can fund them with cash or appreciated securities. And again, you receive a partial charitable deduction because part of that money is coming back to you. So it's not for the full amount. Next slide. So this is just a little diagram about how the gift actually works. And it's pretty much what I have discussed before, but you give the property to the gift annuity. The remainder goes to Johns Hopkins after the maturity of the gift. And there is an income tax deduction at the time you give the gift, and the income tax deduction is for the year of the gift and the future 5 years if it needs to be carried over for your tax purposes. And it's a fixed income for life. Next slide. So this is most attractive to people in mid to late 70s because that's where the rates become more attractive. The rates are fixed. They're fixed by the American Council on Charitable Gift Annuities, and we follow the rates that they suggest for all charities to use. There are 90% of the charities use those rates because we don't really want to compete with each other based on a monetary vehicle, but there are some that offer higher rates. But for the most part, everyone offers the same rate. The minimum age to establish a charitable gift annuity with Sibley is 60, and the minimum amount is $10,000. And again, as I said, they're fixed rates and they're guaranteed by JHU. So, and you can depend on the payment. It doesn't fluctuate. Next. These are the CGA rates changed in July of this year. So I just put up a chart for the rates as they are now for one person. And you'll see that they have for younger, we have a minimum, so it would really start at the 4.5, and then 90 and above, it's 9.1 is the top rate. But those have just risen this year, so this is the new rate. I do have the rate for 2 Life is so long that it really is because you have to combine, and if one person's one age and one's the other, it's a different calculation. But I do have those if anyone has a question about it. So next slide. And then the other most popular gift is the charitable remainder trust, and that also can last for the lifetime of the beneficiaries, or a fixed term of 20 years or less. And it is not limited to just 2 lifetime beneficiaries. Our minimum gift for that is $100,000. This is not a fixed rate, so it depends on the investment of the charitable remainder trust. We usually start with a payout rate of 5%. We can go up to 6.5, but our usual is 5%. Again, it acts like a charitable gift annuity with a partial charitable income tax deduction. And this one is because they're all separately managed. We look at them all as different vehicles. We can accept different types of assets into it, not just cash and securities. And this one is very often funded with gifts of real estate. And the difference is, unlike the charitable gift annuity, which each year, if you started another charitable gift annuity, you don't go into the same charitable gift annuity. You start again, and you start with a new rate that's higher. On the trust, you can make additions to the trust throughout the lifetime of the trust. Next. Again, just another diagram that looks exactly like the charitable gift annuity because they really do act the same. The only difference is the fluctuation in the charitable remainder trust and the fact that it is, separately managed for each trust. And so it might go up and down. But anyway, in the next slide, because of the fluctuation, it is usually used for younger individuals, and it doesn't have a minimum of 60. What determines the age of the trust is as long as Sibley has a return of 25% of the trust, we are able to do it. And it might be with a larger asset. It could be someone a little bit younger than 60. So, and it just depends on how that calculation works out. And because it can fluctuate, there's a good chance it can grow. And despite all of the variations we have in the stock market these days and days in the past, we've usually had a great return on all of our charitable remainder trusts. So they've usually gone, they're very attractive to invest in. And again, you receive the charitable deduction from this. And it also is the year of the gift plus 5 years that you can use it. And this is just a chart that shows the comparison of the two different vehicles. It really goes through what I've already discussed, but I'd love it if anyone has any questions.
Thanks so much, Anne. Feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom to get your questions in. We have one that we'll start with. And can you fund a charitable gift annuity with your IRA?
Oh, no, you cannot fund it with an IRA. It is mandated still. They've been trying to actually make it so that you can roll over a charitable IRA into a gift annuity. But right now, the government is interested in getting the taxes back from that. So they do like you to take it out and cash in whatever IRA asset you want to use, pay the taxes. But the advantage, but you can still get a benefit from it, because you could, although that's not the ideal asset to use, you would still get an offsetting charitable deduction when you then made the gift of the cash that was remaining after you paid the taxes.
Wonderful. And while we're on the subject of IRAs, can you talk a little bit about IRA rollover gifts and tax benefits? We've been seeing a few more of those come through the foundation, which we're very grateful for.
Yeah, no, the IRA gifts are wonderful. They're a great way to fulfill your required minimum distribution. Right now, you can make a gift, IRA gift to a charity without having to pay taxes on up to $100,000. While they cannot be rolled over, you can continue to make those this year, even though the law was changed on the requirement for RMDs. It is still now, after the change, 72 for the requirement for RMDs, but the qualified charitable deduction is still allowed at around age 70 and a half. So those are attractive ways to make a distribution from your IRA without having to pay taxes.
Wonderful. I'll give a quick little overview of our Legacy Society while we wait for any more questions. So Sibley is proud to have the Sibley Legacy Society, which we relaunched about a year ago, and there is donor recognition for gifts that are documented with the foundation team during people's lifetimes. So we have a beautiful wall right across the hall, kind of from the foundation entrance when you're going up towards Proton, that bears the names of past and current Legacy Society donors. We're also happy to talk with people. Something unique at Sibley is we honor gifts during people's lifetime with naming opportunities. So we can talk with you a little bit about how we might honor you or a family member through recognition throughout the hospital now and not later. And not seeing any other questions, I just want to thank Anne for her time on this quick but valuable bits of information regarding CGAs and other tax incentivized gifts. The foundation team welcomes the opportunity to talk to you and even schedule some time with Anne or her team on how these gifts might benefit you. Thank you, everybody, for joining.